Welcome back to W.P.M with Max, aka Wolf Pussy Monologues podcast. Get ready for some shit and shenanigans from the CEO of the Unicorn Division, our leader of the Wolfden Pack, the maniac behind the mic, the one and only Max. Broadcasting internationally from our lovely private studio in the city of Los Angeles. We thank each of our listeners around the globe for joining the shit show, and we sincerely hope you enjoyed today's episode.
Hey, yo, what up, what it is? How you feeling, how you living? Where my folks been? Welcome to another episode of W.P.M with Max podcast. I'm your host, Max. As always, such a pleasure to be on the mic one more time with all my Wolfpack friends. Hope you had a great week. Hope you're feeling all right. So as we keep going through our November series and we're getting closer to that special day, I know the day I'm not talking about Black Friday. We're talking about Thanksgiving. And today we're going to talk about the truth behind Thanksgiving. Can you dig it? Yes. We're pulling that veil back. We're pulling it back. Thanksgiving is one of those holidays that's wrapped up in nostalgia. We picture the big dinner tables, the turkey, the laughter, the family traditions, right? But something we don't think about is the blood, the violence, the stolen land. This episode is called The Truth Behind Thanksgiving because, family, if we're going to talk gratitude, we also got to talk honesty. We can't just eat the pie without looking at how it was baked. So today we digging into what we think really went down, what really happened, the myths that we were fed, and how we can honor the truth while we still hold space for family and thankfulness. Buckle up, buttercups. As always, it's going to get a little heavy, but sometimes the truth is the only seasoning we need. Can't you dig it? So let's jump into the myth that we were taught. Okay, we're going to start where most of us did on our Thanksgiving memories trails in elementary school. The construction paper hats, the handprint turkeys, story about pilgrims and Indians breaking bread in harmony. Yeah, loving each other and all that good shit, right? You know, as I've gotten older, I realized that a lot of history is more elephant talk than facts. Anywho, we were told that the pilgrims landed in Plymouth in 1620, that they struggled through the winter, and that native people, specifically the Wampanoag tribe, came to their rescue, teaching them how to plant corn, hunt, fish. Then, as the story goes, they celebrated together with a big feast, the first Thanksgiving. Yeah, that sounds wonderful, doesn't it? Sounds like unity. Sounds like cooperation. But the truth, ladies and gentlemen, the truth of the story was carefully crafted. It was propaganda. It was a way to make colonization sound innocent, even sweet. It erased the violence, the disease, the betrayal that came right after that so-called feast. Oh shit, it is, y'all. Here it comes. That was a version we grew up with, but it was never the full truth. The harsh reality. Here's what really happened. When the pilgrims got here, they landed on land already inhabited by the Wampanoag people. This wasn't empty wilderness. It was cultivated land with villages, with people who had their own culture, language, and spirituality. Yes, there was an alliance at first. Chief Massasoit and his people did help the pilgrims survive. But let's remember why. Their community had already been devastated by European diseases brought by earlier explorers. Entire villages wiped the fuck out. Tens of thousands dead before the Mayflower even touched its raggedy ass to the shore. Hear me now. That peaceful feast that we talk about, it wasn't the annual start of a tradition. It was a moment in time. And after that, history got darker, blacker, bleak. You understand me? colonists continued to take land. They enslaved native people. They spread more diseases. As you know, they didn't wipe their ass right over there. They just didn't. I don't know if they do now, but back in the Gap, they definitely wasn't wiping asses and disinfecting and cleaning shit. I don't give a fuck if it's 17, 16, 1500. Somebody had some goddamn cleaning supplies, leaves, or something. And motherfuckers just didn't want to do it. Nasty motherfuckers. Spreading diseases. And then, when the resistance came, it was met with violence. Okay? Okay, follow me, y'all. Now, by 1637, which was less than 20 years later, Governor John Winthrop declared an official quote-unquote day of Thanksgiving. Not because of a harvest, not because of peace, but to celebrate the massacre of over 700 Pequot people, men, women, children, gone. That's the root of this holiday. Bloodshed marked as gratitude. For real. Yes. So when we sit at our tables today, we got to remember that for Native communities, Thanksgiving isn't just turkey and pie. It's a national day of mourning. Have you ever heard that phrase? That's where it's coming from. Now I know you're probably wondering, damn, Max, sound like you don't like Thanksgiving. Sound like you're hating on the holiday. Nah, not at all. More or less, I'm not hating on the holiday, but I'm loving on the truth. Don't sugarcoat some shit to me and then blindside me with this distraction indicative of me thinking that I'm celebrating in proper form when in actuality it's some other things we probably should be doing as a reflection of Thanksgiving and or the National Day of Mourning. Okay? Or how the fuck can we be thankful for the deaths of so many fucking people? How do we know the world wouldn't be fucking phenomenal right now if those certain people hadn't been fucking slaughtered for helping? But because of the way it was done, we're supposed to overlook it. As they say, get over it. And when I say we, I don't mean we as in quote unquote black people who were enslaved. I'm talking about native. I'm talking about my native brothers and sisters. Yes, my bloodline too. Understand it. Pisses me the fuck off that every year motherfuckers go broke for this brainwashed ass fucking holiday, right? I ain't gonna lie, used to be brainwashed right along with a lot of people. Trying to hurry up, make an appointment to get the honey baked ham and get that damn ham, turkey when I ate pork, Get that damn ham, make sure I got my reservation so they wouldn't run out. The fuck out of here, man. I'm thankful to be able to be around my family for Thanksgiving because a lot of people were ripped from their family and fucking murdered. Whole generations gone. And the cold thing is, it ain't even all from violence. It wasn't even about the uprising and shit yet. You motherfuckers was just nasty as fuck, bringing nasty shit with you to a pure people. Fuck. But we, Let's just dive into it. Let's get into the impact of the erasure that happened behind this bullshit. Okay? Because there was an erasure. One of the hardest truths about Thanksgiving is how it was used to erase the native voices. For centuries, indigenous people were written out the story or reduced to stereotypes. Okay? Feathered costumes, smiling helpers, background characters, their suffering, their resilience, their survival, all of that shit left the fuck out. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what colonization does. If you're gonna teach a motherfucker some shit in school and you're gonna tell me that you're my authority, you know what I'm saying? You're my superior or whatever the fuck because you got this degree and shit, use the shit and tell the motherfucker truth. Not this placated bullshit they put in the fucking books that, quite frankly, they don't even have enough for all the students to read out of. You know what I'm saying? Shit. Then you churn out these fucked up ass adults, because fucked up kids turn into fucked up adults and they can't function in society because they've been fed lies. Here we go. It don't just take land. I'm sorry, y'all. We gonna go back. Colonization. It don't just take land. It takes narrative. It takes the story and rewrites it until generations grow up thinking the massacre was a fucking dinner party. Oh my goodness. Is this thing on? Is this thing on? And that erasure isn't just in history books. It shows up in the mascots that you see, these fucking schools, in offensive costumes, in land that is still taken today for pipelines, oil, for profit. The myth of Thanksgiving isn't harmless. It's a continuation, silence. Brethren, hear me now, brethren. Let's dive into the modern Thanksgiving, holding two different goddamn truths. Let's get it. Now, family, here's where shit get complicated. Let me light my shit out. Here's when shit get complicated, all right? Because for a lot of us, Thanksgiving has nothing to do with pilgrims and wampanoag. It's about our grandmother's recipes, about our cousins fighting over spades, and going outside, smoke that good shit, and gathering in love. And that's very real too. Our communities have flipped this holiday into a day of connection, a day to slow down, a day to gather. But here's a challenge. We can hold both truths. We can love the tradition we've built and acknowledge the painful history behind it as well. That's what maturity looks like. That's what honesty looks like. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring the past. Gratitude means saying, I see the whole picture. I see the joy and I see the pain. I honor the truth while I celebrate what I'm thankful for today. Now, W.P.M family, how do we reframe and reclaim? How do we do it? How do we move forward with Thanksgiving? How do we keep the parts that feed us while honoring the truth? I believe it starts with language. If you got kids, don't repeat the fairy tale. Tell them the goddamn truth. Be age appropriate, of course. I'm not telling you to scare the little people, okay? But tell them the truth. Teach them about Native history, not just pilgrims in black hats, okay? It's also about action. Learn the names of the tribes who lived on the land where you now live. You can look those up whose land you're on. Say their names out loud. You dig? Support Native-owned businesses. Donate to indigenous organizations. Amplify Native voices, whether it's authors, artists, actors, And while you're at your table, drinking that shit you drinking, all that shit, eating that food, take a moment before you swallow to acknowledge the truth. Just take one moment to acknowledge the truth. Gratitude means more when it's grounded in honesty, all right? Now I know you like, damn, Max, what the fuck this got to do with us? This was hundreds and hundreds of years ago, and, things are different now, and blah, 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 right? Tell you about the connection to us. I gotta bring it home to us, fam. The truth behind Thanksgiving connects to a bigger pattern. America loves rewriting history. Now, I'm not a rocket science, but I thought that once something happens and it's factual and is documented, can't change it. Apparently, that is not the truth. They tell us slavery was just a chapter. They tell us Jim Crow wasn't that bad. They tell us oppression is in the past. But when we don't tell the full story, when we sugarcoat, and I don't know anyone that works in the fucking bakery, we rob ourselves of the lessons we need to break the cycle. Thanksgiving is just one mediocre example. If we can start telling the truth here about Thanksgiving here, yes, we can start demanding the truth about everything, everywhere. Can you dig it? It's underdog. So family, as you get ready to prepare for Thanksgiving this year, I want you to carry this with you. The food is good. The family is precious. But the story we were taught is not the truth. Thanksgiving's roots are tangled in pain, but that doesn't mean we can't reclaim it. It means we have to sit in the discomfort, honor the indigenous people who lost so fucking much, and choose to celebrate gratitude with eyes wide open. Because gratitude without truth is shallow. But gratitude with truth, that's where your power comes from. That's where the healing comes from. That's how we move forward. This has been The Truth Behind Thanksgiving. Again, I'm your host, Max. Until next week, you know what I'm saying? We got most stuff coming out the wolf den. Stay grounded, stay thankful, and above all, stay truthful. You can tell the truth. It's what they're going to do. What's the worst going to happen? You tell the truth, what's the worst going to happen? A person's going to get angry with you. They may stop talking to you. At the end of the day, tell the truth, clean your plate. You dig me? Worst can happen is you get your ass whooped. And in some cases, you might have deserved it. Okay? Next week, on the board for next week, as we roll through this November series, because we talking real stuff, raw, unfiltered, Now we're going to get into the traditions and the real meaning behind them on this Thanksgiving roller coaster that we on, That's going down next week. Y'all stay safe, stay out the way, stay out them streets, and get your liquor early. All right? Love, peace, and hair grease. W.P.M with Mags. Out.